What is going on, everybody? I'm Jackson.
I'm Tristan.
We're Los Hermanos today. On our episode of Drinking Los Hermanos, we're here with Chris and Jordan Edwards. Jordan, JJ Sweet Treats. So I think everybody may know him a little bit. And we're just going to get to know them a little bit, let you guys get to know them, and kind of figure out their story.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, what got you started into
tell us like your
baking?
story.
Yeah, what? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
The first time that I really got started is when I made a cake with her. It was a lemon pound cake in the kitchen.
Thanksgiving.
And, yeah, on Thanksgiving. And I just started baking more and cooking more. And I realized that I liked it and that I wanted to actually
do it.
Yeah, do it. And then I went to the Young Entrepreneurship class at Willard Library. And that's where JJ Sweet Treats started. That's where I started thinking about it. And then I went to the showcase that they had at the Kellogg Arena. And then that's where I modeled my business basically, and then I did really well, and then that's where I started taking off.
So that was the Bake Off at Kellogg Arena last summer? Was that the one you're talking about?
It was the May of 2017.
Yeah,
no,
you did actually you did it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it was in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right when we were getting started, there was a Bake Off, and we didn't get to go because we were working.
Right.
It's great to
and
know
it actually they showcased all different types of businesses.
Okay.
I think they had over 80 different kids that were doing different things or whatever. So and then they rate them on their business plan and their presentation and things like that. So
awesome. So they kind of not walked through, but went through every aspect of the business, not just a product.
Right.
That's
so they
cool.
go through the course, and then you can decide a couple of months before if you want to participate in that. And then they got cash awards for it and different things like that. So
it's pretty great. I mean, it's just another thing the community does that probably isn't as advertised or spread, word spread about it as much because, I mean, I didn't know that it came with, it was the result of a entrepreneurship course that the library put on.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that course?
I think it was a 9-week course, and they walked through the business plan and everything. And Stephanie Boyd at Willard Library.
I was going to say, give Stephanie a shout out. She's awesome.
Yeah, she ran the whole program, and then there were little activities throughout the weeks, and I think it was every Monday for a few hours.
Awesome.
So it really taught us the inside business.
Right.
So that's just for high school kids?
No, it's for, I think they did maybe elementary.
Elementary on up to high school.
Oh,
unfortunately, now though the program, I think they sold the program, is what I understand. So they don't have that available at the library anymore. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate because it's a good way to get kids started early, all the way from elementary on.
I think Miss Boyd said she's starting something up at the library.
It was very helpful to us for me to be able to see if this was something he really wanted to do, and I think that's made him be a little bit further along in the process than we would have been had he not gone through that course. So
yeah, we kind of did something really similar at Can Do. They had it was for food entrepreneurs specifically, but it's basically, it was like a 12-week training course of things that you could run into, just kind of general knowledge stuff. So that's pretty great that they were doing something like that here in town too.
I know, because with me, I learned a lot of things just being thrown into my business, whereas he learned, your cost of goods and what does it cost you to do this, and when do you know you have a profit? And he learned all of that at 13, as opposed to me, figuring out, okay, my prices have to be at this for me to make a profit,
And learning that young gets, younger minds can think quicker, and they don't have as much previous knowledge, so they know, that's just what it is. So learning young, quick, and like you said, by the time he's 23, he'll have 10 years of knowledge, which is crazy to think of.
Yeah, I wish I'd had something like that,
And then, somebody says, hey, I want to make, want you to make this cake for me. You can pretty much just know off the top of your head what you're going to need to charge to make money. Instead of having to say, well, hold on, let me get back to you. And then, a day or two later, you just know off the top. So that's really great. Yeah. We should, Lee, get that back at the library.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Or in the schools. I think it would be great as a program. Yeah.
They do something kind of like that with DECA, right?
Yeah, DECA. But,
it's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Are you involved in DECA?
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do in DECA for people that don't know?
Basically, we what did we do? We interviewed for a job, a position, and they gave us a sheet of paper, and we had 10 minutes to do it. And so if you advance past districts, you make it to states. But it was funny because we found out like maybe a month later that we were 1 point off from making it to states.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crappy.
Yeah, well, you had some DECA experience, right?
No, I had friends that had DECAs. It looked really fun.
Chase,
yeah. So what other courses, things in your life have you have made you more ready to be a business owner at a young age?
I think it's really learning. Like it's a lot of learning experiences, like testing out new recipes and doing new things. And I think you learn better on the spot than you do like watching videos. Or I think you just have to get out there, I guess.
So just getting past that fear of, I guess, not doing anything and failure and just trying it out, see if it works.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I will say about Jordan is and that is true, he has been, like, where I would be like, oh, no, you can't do that. He'll be like, oh, somebody asked me to make, what was that first fondant cake you made?
The Lego cake.
The Lego cake. We were at the mall because he had a table set up out there for this event. And this lady wanted him to make this Lego cake for her son's birthday. And I'm like, and he said, I told this lady I would make a Lego cake. And I'm like, you did what? I'm like, oh my God. I think I was more scared than he was because I'm like, what do you... You know, and he did it, and it turned out awesome. And so he's been working with fondant cakes, you know, since then. And that's kind of how it's been, I think. You know, somebody will ask him to do something, and he just, you know, he's like, okay, I'll just figure out how to do it, you know. It doesn't always turn out like we want. Sometimes we've had to kind of eat the cost of different things and redo it. Yeah,
eat the cost?
Yeah, literally. We've had things that fail, and then, you know, at the end of the day, he had to redo it, and he's like, now I'm not making any money, but... And I'm like, well, that's a part of business, you know.
It is.
You don't want to give them a product that's not going to be, you know, up to par. So.
Yeah, and it's I think in a food or even service industry of any kind, that is the most important thing you can learn early. Right. Is that if it's not up to quality, don't serve it, don't give it to them. Right. Apologize, say, hey, hold on, I got to make this again. But you know, you never know if we don't have coffee ready right away, and someone has to wait. Right. 7 minutes, you give them the coffee's free, they might come back forever.
Right.
But if you just say, oh no, you made you wait 10 minutes and I'm going to charge you, they might not come back because they're like, oh, I'm going to have to wait every time.
Exactly, yeah.
So what is the craziest thing that someone's asked you to make?
I thought of one right off the top of my head.
Oh, I think it was, I mean, the muffin order was pretty easy, you know, from...
Oh, that scared you.
Yeah, that was kind of... How many dozen muffins?
I had a customer
it was 20 dozen
that
muffins.
came in, and he had just started,
So 240.
Yeah, and he was like... And he wanted a variety.
Yeah.
And it was like Thursday.
6 of these, 12 of these.
No, it was a Wednesday night, and he goes, well, do you think you can make some muffins for me by Friday? And we're thinking, a couple dozen or whatever.
Right.
And so he committed to it. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. And so this customer, he has a business of his own. And he was going to be going out of town and do something special for his employees. And he goes, okay, well, I need about 20 dozen. And I'm looking like, oh, okay. So he leaves, and Jordan goes, I am so scared.
That's a lot of muffins.
But he did it. He did it. So,
well, that's a really good learning experience, too, to maybe not say yes before you know what the order is. I mean, I don't know if we've run into something that specific before, but, we did an event for the Mams, and they're like, oh, yeah, 20 gallons of coffee. That's no big deal. And they're like, wait a minute.
We haven't ever done that.
We haven't ever done that.
We haven't been open yet. We
haven't even used our new machine yet, so we don't know how fast, how much. But, it's kind of that learning on the fly that just preps you.
And you have to do that. You can't say no if you're not, even if you're not really prepared, you just have to figure out how to get it done. Yeah.
So I want to take a step back. What is the difference between a regular cake and a fondant cake?
A fondant cake is like, it's covered with this thing called fondant, and it's made with marshmallows and powdered sugar, and basically roll it out and then you cover it with it. It leaves like a smoother finish than buttercream.
So like those fancy cakes you see on TV, those are most
like
the big decorative
cakes.
ones that look like something. They're more than likely fondant than just buttercream.
There's more molding and all that to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So as a mother of a young entrepreneur, what are your thoughts on this whole problem?
Well, I think for me, it's pretty awesome, and it's challenging, obviously, but I've always wanted my kids to find out what their gifts and talents were, at a young age. And I think for me, juggling my own stuff and his own stuff has been difficult, but I feel like if I can get him going, as soon as possible, then that saves him a lot of time trying to figure out where I want to go and what I want to do.
Right.
So I think we are at this point sooner than what I thought we would be, but I'm kind of glad because it makes me happy that he at least knows where he wants to go to an extent, So most of it is about just being supportive and allowing him to do as much as he can on his own, and then I kick in and say, okay, do you need help, with this or whatever.
So it kind of sounds like how you guys are talking about just doing things and trying them out. Yeah. It's kind of like the same what you're saying with your kids. You kind of were like, go ahead, try it out, see if that's for you.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of times we underestimate how much kids can do. We kind of tend to put things off to, when you get grown or when you graduate or whatever. Yeah. And I think as soon as you find out what their bent is, start developing that and go with it. So.
I think it is especially for kids, but I think there's people in general. Like I think you're always going to, I guess, kind of naturally underestimate yourself or someone else's abilities because you're like, well, it's tough, like with the 20 dozen.
Right.
Right away you're like, I don't know if we can do this, and then you guys pumped it out and got it done, and so now you can handle a big order like that.
Right. Yeah.
So, what year are you in high school?
Freshman. 9th grade.
So, I'm talking about colleges sort of early, but is it a potential that you would forego college and just do this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No,
but
don't go.
Oh.
That's what that means.
Yeah, forego, yeah.
Well, I told you I stepped in when
Yeah, so basically graduate and then just open a bakery.
Yeah.
Or what are you thinking?
I'm not really sure right now.
Okay.
That's a fair answer. Yeah. It's a little early.
And as a mother that likes to let their kids do whatever they want, if he chose not to...
Not whatever they want.
Well, with parameters.
Right.
What would... If he said, I don't think college is for me and I want to just be an entrepreneur, how would you feel?
I think at that point, I've been kind of just going with it. And his dad is involved too, so I don't make all the decisions. But we've just with this, we've been just kind of going and seeing what fits for that time. I think there was some opportunities he had last year that I said, no, you're not ready for that. So, moving into the fall, I think we are going to make some different choices as far as schooling goes so that he can accommodate that, because I feel like he's at a point where he's ready to do that and he can handle that responsibility. So if that makes sense. When we get to the point with the college thing, I think I'm confident that he probably will want to do that because he's really business oriented. Yeah. So I think in order to go further with that, it would require some more schooling, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes sense.
So,
potentially, yeah.
So I kind of listen to what they say and, say, he tells me what he wants to do. And as a parent, I kind of give my feedback. And if it's not a no-go, then I let him know. But, I try to think about and consider his feelings too. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I asked that just because, especially now, there's a lot of pushback with going to college, and that there's ways to go around spending money for an education when, like, right now, you're learning a lot.
Right.
You're taking those business classes in real time.
Right, exactly.
And actually applying it. So, you're a freshman, you do this for 4 more years.
Right.
There's potential that business school might not have anything to offer you because you already have experience and done all that stuff.
Right. And I'm glad you made that point because I don't agree that every child has to go to college because your natural talents or gifts may not require that road for you to go down. I think with everybody, you have to figure out what is the requirement for me to do what it is I want to do in life and be successful at it. And that might not be college, So.
Because there's a lot of fields that it's actually more beneficial to work in the industry.
Right.
And not go to school because you're learning how to do the stuff, and you get done and you can just get promoted and move up in a company or move up, open up your own thing or something, and not have to start in the $100,000 hole.
Right. I think like Tristan, I did the same thing. I went to college and then decided I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then I went to beauty school, which was like a year course, and I've been in that field ever since, which my mom said I should do in the first place, but I didn't do that. So that's why, maybe that's why I'm more adamant about paying attention to what they're really gifted at. Yeah, so.
That's good, good to hear. I don't know if everybody knows this, but there's some big news. What's happening May 1st?
BC Cargo.
He's ecstatic about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? As a fellow BC Cargo, I guess you can call us alumni. We're very, very excited to see you join that space. Yeah. What were your first initial thoughts of BC Cargo when you learned about it?
I was excited to do it.
Yeah, and then that was one of the things that they kind of had approached them last year, and I was like, oh no, we can't do that. And
it's firsthand, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to say realistically, it's a fact that if he wouldn't have, made the sacrifice and quit his jobs and moved back home, we wouldn't have been able to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So we kind of had a partnership trade-off. Like, he worked it full time. I worked before after work. Still worked, so we could pay the bills that we have to pay to still do this. So it's probably a good decision that you were a little bit more cautious about that, because it's a big commitment. It's a lot of work, but it pays off.
Yeah. So what kind of things can people expect from you at BC Cargo?
We'll be doing different things like diversifying with our pastries, doing something different that you don't usually see in the Battle Creek area. Like we're expanding all of our energy bars, and then we're doing like different bump cakes, different macarons. And then we're just changing our menu.
Awesome. What kind of things are coming out of the energy bar? What kind of flavors?
I think
we butt heads on that one a lot.
Good, tough question.
Yeah, if you saw us in the kitchen, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh!" It'd probably be a reality show, maybe.
We were thinking about doing an apricot chia one.
Okay.
What was that?
Yeah.
Your matcha one is fantastic.
Yeah. So is the almond one. They're a hit when we had them.
I like to call them RX bars that taste good.
Yeah.
Because RX bars I don't think taste good, but you're like, oh man, these are really good for you, and it's a good snack. Yeah. Cheers to those energy bars taste amazing.
I will say almost everything we've had here of yours, everybody loves. Yeah. So you guys are doing great.
Yeah. Jordan is not your normal kid. Like, he likes to go every summer. Our thing, we go to Chicago, and he takes some classes and we learn some new things. So I think he's wanting to bring some of that to Battle Creek that we go other places for.
Right.
Yeah.
So that we can experience that here.
I like that. You found a niche and you're creating a market for it. And I think there's plenty of people here that would enjoy that, because, I mean, like us, when we first started, there was no coffee shops, and we wanted...
my gosh, I'm so grateful for you guys.
And we wanted to be more of a craftier one, and we found out really quick people wanted that and liked it, so you just got to offer the people something, and they'll take it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say I think from our experience, the most important thing of BC Cargo in general, specifically, I guess, is consistency.
Yes.
Be open as much as you can, and if you say you're going to be open, you got to be there.
Right.
Because all it takes is one or two times of somebody showing up when you say you're open, but you're not, and for whatever reason, if you're not there, people just won't come back. And so that was. I would say one of the biggest challenges there, I think, was that consistency.
Right.
So if you guys can do that, bring down your phenomenal baked goods, that can knock it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Which is going to be another challenge, because he'll still be in school.
Yeah. Is he? You're dual enrolling, right?
That too. Yeah. So even with that, I think with it starting out, we've just had to figure out. We don't have all the answers to that. But I think a lot of it is a leap of faith in saying, okay, I feel like it's time for us, even though we don't have all the answers.
Right.
We'll let that work out, and then we'll have to call on some family members to, fit in here and there when we need to, so that he can, till he gets out of school or whatever.
Yeah. That's where the magic happens, is when you say, like you said, you don't know all the answers, but you're confident you can get it done.
Right.
Take that leap.
It's something that a lot of people don't do.
Right.
You're worried, and I can't blame people for it. Like, I don't want to make it sound like it's just easy to take these leaps of faith, because they're not.
It's not.
But it's something that you have to do to be successful. And like if you have confidence in yourself and the people you're working with and your product, most of all, that makes it a little bit easier. And from what I've seen so far, I think you guys are going to do great.
We don't have a choice.
I would just say focus on making that a community with the other members there, and work together, because someone will come for veggies and they'll be like, ooh, I like treats. And you know, not everybody that goes to veggies is a pure vegan. So there's a lot of cross contamination there. I don't want to say contamination. Pollination. How about that?
There you go.
We experience that a lot here. A lot of Kiki's customers have said they don't like coffee, and then we're like, well, try this, and then they get them hooked, or you know, we offer other things besides coffee, and so and vice versa. A lot of our customers come in, get orders from her. So you know, working together as a community is vital for that project.
It's vital for everything. I personally think. Especially in a place like Battle Creek, where the downtown business area isn't as prominent as it could be. Working together is what will really bring it back up.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got a question. What made you want to make macarons? And is it macaron or macaroon?
It's macaron. Macaroon is like...
We learned that too.
Macaroon is like... You know, have you heard of like the coconut things?
Yeah.
That's what a macaroon is.
That's what we ate this weekend.
She said macaroon. I was thinking of what you had. I was like, that doesn't look like the macaroon.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. I made macarons at a class and when we went to Chicago, and then I think, when did we first start making them?
When we went to Ann Arbor and we went and tasted some.
No, it was before. I made it before that.
I don't remember. I don't know, but we tasted some and they were horrible. It was like, no, we went to the one shop I think I told you, and we liked hers.
And then, I know.
What?
The ones that we didn't like.
Yeah. Well, we went a couple places and we didn't like them. He goes, well, I'm going to try my own, you know. So.
Is it as hard as people say it is to make those?
Yeah.
It's frustrating,
I mean, once you get it down,
dumped a lot in the garbage.
Hey, it's a learning experience.
Like if you whip too much air into it, if you take too much air out, and if the oven isn't at the right temp, then
if you don't have the right mats.
So it's a very delicate
process, but they're delicious.
They are.
And it's something that is a big deal in larger cities that we don't have here. You know, I didn't realize it was such a huge. I mean, I would see them when we go other places, but we don't see that a lot here.
Yeah, because those are from France, right?
Yeah, and that's the French way to say macaron, and then macaroon is with the coconut cookie and all that. It's actually les macarons. I don't speak French,
it is
but
That's awesome.
You got anything else? Oh, we like to end when we do these interviews with the same two questions for everyone. And you can answer them in either order. So the first one is, what was the biggest failure or setback that propelled you for future success? And also, life or business advice that you have. Anybody who maybe needs that little push to get going.
What do you want me to start? Let's see here. Wait, what was the second question?
Advice.
Just any advice that you may have for somebody in life or in business to get them started.
I think for my advice for anybody that is thinking about going into business is that not to give up and to go into knowing that it's going to be hard. You know, you'll have days when you're like, oh, this is awesome. And then you'll have days where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know where my next client is coming from or whatever. But you have to keep pushing through it and not give up. And it doesn't happen right away either. You know, there's a lot of investment, a lot of time. And you, as the owner or whatever, have to be there. You can't just think you're going to open up and then all this money starts flowing in. It doesn't work that way. A lot of work.
I think that's one of the bigger misconceptions about business is, they see that one is successful, and it must be easy. And like
or they hear you say, oh, you own a business, and they automatically think you got all this money coming out of your ears, and it's like, oh, I got a lot coming out already.
You're not kidding.
Yeah, that's great advice, though. I like that a lot.
It's a little bit different than stuff we usually get too.
Yeah.
So.
The oven breaking, not working.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge setback.
Yeah. Let me think.
Is that the biggest or?
Well, the oven breaking was.
Yeah. Not having the oven working is a huge one.
I think when I first started out, like with like cakes falling and then like things not turning out right, which it was easy to give up.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest.
Oh, I know.
Wait.
We were in the car when you were taking that cake. That birthday cake. Was that the Lego cake? And I think I had to stop really quick, and the cake went flying.
Oh,
He was
no.
so mad at me. He had to put all the Legos like back on there. We had to like go somewhere so he could literally like put the. I don't think she knows this. He had to literally like put all the Legos. We had to go get frosting so he could put them back on and all this. So, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm never doing this again." And I'm like, "So yeah, we have meltdown days."
You know what? You learn from those meltdown days, and it preps you for later.
Right.
And it just makes that next mishap that much easier because you've already been through it.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I think that's all that we have.
Yeah. Where can everybody find JJ Sweet Treats, like online and all that?
Instagram and Facebook at JJ Sweet Treats, and it's JJSWEETRE. APS.
I
forgot.
On the spot, you lose your memory. You're like, what?
Right. Also,
Awesome.
you've been at Mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's been awesome.
Yeah, she's been awesome.
All right. Well, if you're not already following them, follow them on social media. May 1st, they're going to be down at BC Cargo. Show up, eat some delicious treats.
Yes.
They'll be there all summer, all fall. I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
You got anything?
Nope, that's it.
You guys have anything else?
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for coming
coming.
on.
Looking forward to being down here.
We look forward to you joining the downtown business community that is slowly growing bigger.
Yeah. All right.
That's going to be all for us today. Thanks for joining us. I think that's all we got for today, so take it easy.
All right.
Thank you guys.